It doesn't matter what plays you call if you don't have the personnel to run them. Lowe's Red Vest Associates can help you execute whatever home improvement project you've drawn up. On top of that, with the Lowe's app on in-store mode, it's easy to call your own number and find anything yourself. Or if you're really under pressure, order online before 2 p.m. and get it at home same day. Lowe's knows home improvement. Lowe's is an official partner of the NFL, same day valid on eligible in-stock items in select zip codes only, subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase, exclusion, and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
It's time to get inside the Giants Huddle.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
On Giants.com.
I like it.
And the Giants mobile app.
Boom, give me some juice.
Part of the Giants Podcast Network.
Let's roll.
Now we're joined by the man who's ranked number 61 on the Giants 100 list, Super Bowl champion, Jason Pierre-Paul. JPP, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? Good. Got me nervous a little bit.
Why?
I'm good, man. Glad to see y'all, man.
It's good to see you too, man. Well, tell us about what this experience is like for you coming back and getting to experience being part of the Giants 100.
Man, you know, once the Giants, always the Giants, you know, and just to be in the top 100 is fabulous and wonderful. You know, never would have ever dreamed about it, and you know, with everything that I accomplished here, it just made me feel grateful.
You have such a storybook career, all the ups and downs that you had to go through. From the time that you were drafted by the Giants, could you have ever even imagined that 1/10 of this would have happened to you?
No, you know, but, you know, it's all God's plan, you know. Went through some ups and downs and still came out on top. So, you know, I appreciate everything I went through.
You know, we were talking to OC here, too, and we talked about he was an example of great player development. And JPP, I think you were another. You came in as a role player. You hadn't played a ton of football.
I remember them days.
and all people remember when you got drafted, you did all the backflips. He was the guy that did all the backflips. Yep. So how did you work within the Giants structure to become the player you did and help the Giants win that Super Bowl?
You know, like you said, when I came here, I was a raw football player, you know, bouncing from team to team, junior college, you know, going to South Florida going to another junior college and going to South Florida, and then finally getting to South Florida and then being like 6 months there, and then, you know, being a high draft pick, number 1 at 15. And I didn't really know too much about football at that time too, and then really didn't know too much about coaching wise as well. But, you know, being here, meeting all those guys like O.C. Manure, Tuck, you know, Rocky Bernard, Chris Canty, all those guys, you know, sorry if I don't mention all the other guys, but all those guys that was in that room made me comfortable to actually learn how to play the style of football that I played. And then if I didn't know anything, or, you know, because I wasn't familiar with the game of football and being structured under one roof, you know, but being with those guys and being with the coaches too as well, they made me understand and learn the game of football even better. So I went off and do what I did.
You were dominant that Super Bowl season in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And not just you individually, but that defense really made a lot of big plays.
Yeah.
What was it like when you broke the huddle and you went up to that line of scrimmage? Could you sense the opponents knew, like, we got a problem here?
Yeah. You know, I got to thank Coach Nunn, too. You know what I mean? Coach Nunn was my defensive lineman coach. I was in the outside linebacker at that time, too, as well. And I got to thank Coach Nunn because Coach Nunn made me very comfortable to, you know, I could ask him anything. And, you know, he knew I didn't know too much, but he knew I was a great player, you know. And, you know, he put me in great situations until I learned it, you know. And, you know, shout out to Coach Nunn. And, you know, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't probably never had that run, you know, or that blocked field goal, you know, or the season that I had. You know, I felt way comfortable, you know, got to feel comfortable with the coaches too. And, you know, I think Coach Nunn did a great job at that.
Now, the blocked field goal against Dallas, which everybody remembers, and we all talk about it being one of the benchmarks of that Super Bowl season. What I love about that is here's a defensive star who's an all-pro, and there it is on special teams. He's busting his butt to make a play.
I remember that play like it was yesterday. You know, they called a timeout. I guess it was the ice the kicker.
Yep.
I think, you know.
Yep. Dan Bailey, a very good kicker, by the way.
Yes, he was.
47 yards is a makeable kick.
Yes. Yeah. So at that time, you know, it's like he called a timeout, but at that point, I went through the gap and nobody blocked me. So then we called a timeout, and I went up to Coach Nunn. I was like, yo, I just went through the gap. And then I said, I'm going to do the same exact thing because I don't think anybody noticed. I went through that gap, and I told Coach Nunn, I'm going to do it again. And then sure enough, I did it again, and then it just slightly tipped my fingers. And it was enough to make it go sideways and bring us to the playoffs.
Yeah, and without that game, you guys aren't in the playoffs that year. By the way, and it wasn't just the blocked field goal that game.
No.
You were all over the place in that game.
Monster.
I don't remember what I did, but I know that blocked field goal was a nigga. And everybody went crazy after that, and it was just a memorable moment. And I'm pretty sure it's going down in history books for the rest of my whole life and the rest of me being a Giant and no history of the Giants.
And that year, too, I think it took the defense a little while to kind of get your act together, right? Like, it took till later in the year for things to come together.
Yeah, we played the Jets. That's when we played the Jets, right? And I'm assuming it was here. And I think they were home or we was home.
The Christmas Eve game, right?
Yes,
if I recall
and
correctly.
it was win or you're done.
Yep.
And we won them. It was 110 snaps that I played, and a lot of guys played 110 snaps.
Wow.
And I remember that because going into the meeting room the next morning, they were just saying they were congratulating us on how many snaps we had, but it was a must-win game, so we didn't really care, you know. And we just put it all on the line, and we just took it from there and ran on with it.
The Giants Huddle podcast is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. From game day celebrations to your everyday financial needs, Big Blue fans can get the most out of every moment with Citizens. Learn more at citizensbank.com/Giants.
You're ready for a change. Payday comes early with Citizens, so go to that retreat. New you moves to the country. Now you're raising goats and launching a lifestyle brand. Are you ready for all that life brings?
From hobby farmers to weekend gardeners and everyone in between, Tractor Supply trusts 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business to make shopping more personal. Together, we're connecting over 2,200 stores with 5G business internet and powering AI so team members can match shoppers with products faster.
You're all set.
This is enriching customer experience. This is Tractor Supply with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
Do you realize what a great inspirational story you are, having come back from the fireworks incident with your hand to continue to play an NFL career at a high level and win?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea the impact that you've had on people?
At first I did it. But, I realized that signing all these, autographs out here and people was telling me how, they appreciate me coming back, like you said, and I didn't recognize it at first, but it was just something I got to do. You know what I mean? That's something that's in me, And, I did it.
Final one for me. What does it mean to share this moment with some of your teammates that even played that same position when you were here? Guys like OC, guys like Tuck. What does it mean to be able to experience this with that group?
I just seen OC walking out. He's going downstairs. But it's a special moment because a lot of guys won't be in this situation. They won't be top 100, And I don't know how hard it is to get there. I just know I did everything I possibly can as a player for the New York Giants organization when I was here. I put my all into it, and that's basically what counted, So I feel like as a player, if you put your all into it, and you come to practice, you show up. Not only that, meeting you guys too and actually, becoming family and understanding, the times you wanted me to come and do an interview.
And you never turned me down.
Never turned you down.
You never did.
Never turned nobody down. Maybe somebody, but not you. But, those are the moments that counted, you know what I'm saying? And you remember that. That's why when I come here, I see y'all faces, I'm excited and good to see y'all, So it was a lot going on, but, as a player, those are the things that really count. You coming to work and, and just putting your all into it. You know what I mean? You're not doing it for the sake of you. You're doing it for the sake for others and your teammates. And then when you win that Super Bowl ring, that's something you can remember for the rest of your life. You remember that team for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? And I got 2 of them. So, you know what I mean? Going on the 3rd.
I feel like I have to follow up here very quickly because I talked to Eli yesterday, and I asked him what does it mean to him once a Giant, always a Giant, right? And the fact that it's a family organization. He said, look, I think people don't realize the first couple years they're here how this place is different. Now that you've been here a while, you went a couple other places to play, and now you come back. Do you have a true sense of how this place is a little bit different and how really it is once a Giant, always a Giant?
I think it's a lot different, from all the organizations. I done been on here. I done been Tampa Bay. I done been on the Ravens. I done been on the Saints. I done been on the Miami Dolphins. That's 5 teams right there. Am I missing one? No, that's 5 teams. And I can truly say the organization was so different here. The fan base is built different here, and the people is different here. You know what I mean? And I think that's what makes New York Giants a true organization and why everybody loves it so much. Just being here, just seeing the people and being around the people that I know in the fan base here and the organization is unbelievable. You know what I mean? I can still walk in there right now and see my name on a banner. You know what I'm saying? On the Super Bowl. They don't have to do that. But guess what? That's how much they love their players, and the fans love their players too as much too in this organization.
You electrified this place. Are you down with
Still
JPP?
Still do.
And you know what?
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
You did that.
Yeah,
You're a special guy.
I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thank you, JPP.
guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have a ton of fun this weekend, my man.
For sure.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. We out.
The Giants Huddle podcast is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. Citizens will donate $750 to the Giants Foundation for each scoring drive during the 2024 season. Learn more at citizensbank.com/Giants.
You love turf. You're good at it. So you start a turf biz. Business grows, your savings grow. Become the most celebrated name in turf. Are you ready for all that life brings?
From hobby farmers to weekend gardeners and everyone in between, Tractor Supply trusts 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business to make shopping more personal. Together, we're connecting over 2,200 stores with 5G business internet and powering AI so team members can match shoppers with products faster.
You're all set.
This is enriching customer experience. This is Tractor Supply with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
To kick off the 2024 season, Boss teamed up with the New York Giants to launch an iconic apparel collection. The Boss Times New York Giants collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Like Paul Dottino here, very dashing. It is 100th season Boss Polo.
You know what I love about these? It is truly the dark navy/midnight blue that the Giants wore during the Y.A. Tittle years. And over the years, the blue kind of morphed a couple of times. But this reminds me of good old Y.A.
Arriving just in time for the start of the season, the distinctive attire from the latest Boss Times New York Giants expansion offers sports aficionados and true bosses, like Paul Dottino, the chance to show their team spirit in style. The collection features hoodies, crews, T-shirts, polos like these, joggers, and more. We've seen the sweatshirts as well. Guys, these items are awesome. Go check it out. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, HugoBoss.com, and Boss retail stores. Hashtag be your own boss. And now we're joined by number 97 on the Giants 100 list, the man who was the biggest weapon through the air in the Super Bowl run, the Super Bowl 46, and that is Hakeem Nicks. Hakeem, what's going on, man?
Oh, man, just glad to be here. How y'all doing?
We're great. So what does it mean to you to be part of this? Obviously, unfortunately, your career was probably a little shorter than you wanted to be, a lot of it because of injury,
right.
But the fact that your time here was appreciated the way it was being in this top 100.
Oh, man, it's awesome, man. It's a great honor, especially with this organization, this great organization, and how they conduct themselves and handle themselves. It's an honor to be in this club, man. When you playing the game, you don't really think about, the history that you're making while you're playing. But the fact that, I'm a part of it, man, I'm ecstatic, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
John mentions the 2011 postseason run. In the 3 playoff games leading up to the Super Bowl, you had over 100 yards receiving in each game. And if there had been a postseason MVP for that month, you were the guy. And no, seriously. And I think that it's really interesting because Bill Belichick obviously knew. Right. Because he's telling his guys on your game-winning drive, we got a double Cruz, we got a double Nicks. Don't worry about Manningham. How'd that work out for them?
Man, Manahan was capable of making plays just as well as me and Cruz. And we knew that. So he got the luck of the draw to get that one-on-one at the time. And Coach Gilbride had talked about it with Eli. And, Eli is the one that can put that ball anywhere. And he put it only where only Manahan could catch it. And he did a great job of getting his feet down.
Can I ask you about the last drive? Eli throws to Manningham 4 times to start the drive in a row.
Mm-hmm.
All right? He wound up going 5 of 6 for like 75 yards on the drive. Mm-hmm. But you caught a couple of passes late in that drive to get the Giants down low into scoring range.
I believe it was all first downs, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
See, he remembers.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. So my question to you is, as you guys were going downfield, how much were you aware of the clock management and being worried that somebody might accidentally fall into the end zone?
Well, we knew we wanted to get down there and score. At the time, in the moment, I was just locked into the game. I'm just like, hey, lock in, here to play, read the coverage, because at that time, Coach Gilbride was calling plays, and you had to read the defense to know your route. It wasn't just a route he was giving us. We had to read the defense on the fly. So I was locked in that way. And just knowing I had to, make plays and we had to rely on everybody. We knew we was going to need everybody, especially that last drive.
So that group, if you look at, like, the regular season numbers, Hakeem, you would have thought you guys had no chance to win the Super Bowl, right? You look at the rankings on offense, but none of that mattered.
Right.
What was up with the magic that you guys and Eli had in the fourth quarter of games that year? Where you look at Eli's fourth quarter numbers, they look like regular season numbers for some quarterbacks in 2011. How are you guys able to be so good late in games that year to come out with that Super Bowl?
I think, honestly, we practiced a lot of 2-minute, and 2-minute was kind of our best offense that whole year, and we knew that. We just kind of, Coach Gilbride did a good job at hiding it and disguising it, but we knew when that 2-minute came and there was a rush and we was like, hey, we got to score. We knew our bread and butter plays, and we knew the guys to get the ball to in those moments. So I think we just did a good job at taking advantage of mismatches, and Coach Gilbride did a real good job of that.
He was a master game planner.
Yes, he
no
was.
doubt.
Yeah,
All right.
he was.
Now, I have to say, every time I mention Hakeem Nicks to somebody, they immediately ask me about the Hail Mary in Green Bay right before the half. But is there a favorite play that you have that maybe people don't bring up to you?
Oh, man. Well, I got this question came my way yesterday, and I said it was like 4 plays. I had
to give me what do you got? What do you got?
So no, it was moments. They asked me for my moments, the greatest moments. So
let's go.
First, obviously the Super Bowl, right? Greatest moment. That Green Bay probably will be the next one to stand out. On the cover of Sports Illustrated, the whole 9. And then it will have to be the next 2 kind of toss up for the first touchdown in the Giants Stadium.
Okay,
in the regular season and in the playoffs. So that's something that I kind of, that's going to kind of always stand out to me, because a lot of records can be broken. But when you're the first to do something, you know what I mean, that's going to stand forever. So that's kind of what, I hold tight to.
Final one from me. You mentioned his name, and I feel like he was very underappreciated when he was here, and that's Kevin Gilbride, who was an offensive coordinator for 2 Super Bowl championship teams. And I think fans now understand, looking back, how good he was at his job. Why was Kevin Gilbride such a good coordinator?
Man, because you had to know every little detail, and he made sure you had to know it. And if you ain't know it, then he wasn't going to call your play, or he wasn't going to be on the field. And but it was accountability. He all held us accountable, and we had enough respect for him because of the level. His background spoke for itself, and we just knew, he knew what he was doing. So anything he called, we believed in it, and we just wanted to get the job done. And stay on his good side, because
he had a temper, right?
Yeah, you ain't want to get on his bad side.
Similar question. Eli Manning, I still think, is underappreciated by people, but we who were around him every day know how special he was, and especially with his relationship with his wide receivers.
That's right.
Which was above and beyond. Could you describe to folks out there who don't know what Eli meant to his receivers?
Man, Eli was like, he was the motor, the heartbeat. I tell people like this: whatever it is that Eli got, he got it. Whatever it is, right? He got it, because he was so cool under pressure. He knew, man, half of my touchdowns or half of my mismatches, it was because he was lining, hey, look, we watching film. Hey, King, you see this right here? They're going to back up a little bit further, but it's still going to be zone. stay on the move like it's man. It might be a little hint like that, and he give it to you. Then you scored a 72-yard touchdown against Atlanta in the playoffs. So, you know, he understands the game, and there's plenty of games like that where he's dissecting the defense and he's putting us on game like, hey, I'm going to need you right here, and you be right here, and you be right here. And we know if we right there, then the job is done.
I'm sorry, I got to ask you a follow-up. I can't believe you didn't ask this question. You were the master of the back shoulder catch with Eli Manning.
Yep.
Paul loves the back shoulder catch.
It's my favorite
He loves it. He always talks about it.
My favorite route.
My favorite
because
it's disappeared.
Because it's impossible to cover. You can have perfect coverage. The back shoulder can still work. But it requires, I think, and you tell me, the type of precise timing and feel with the quarterback. So how did you guys become so good at that back shoulder connection?
Well, practice, bunch of reps, off season, bunch of reps. And then it was mainly like Eli just knowing where to put the ball. You know, and they made Coach Gilbert would always harp on it, leaving enough room from the sideline. Don't hide. Don't be all close on that sideline. Leave yourself about 2 to 3 yards from the sideline. And that way when you turn that back shoulder, it's only you and the ball. You know what I mean? You keep that straight lines, vertical. Don't turn back, just look back.
Yep.
You know, because a lot of players, you turn back and, you know, that DB, that gives the DB that unction that you're about to, you know, do what you do. But, you know, just run full speed, look back. We had a certain depth that we would look back at each week if we was running it. If a certain corner played different, he'd be like, all right, you're going to look back at like 12 yards this week.
Interesting.
If it's a Darrell Revis, whatever, hey, soon you get about 10 yards. You know what I mean? Look back because he turns his head to look back around 13 to 14. You know what I mean? So it's little details like that, and it could change from week to week depending on who you're playing. But as a receiver, your job is just to hold that line, keep straight, hit that back shoulder, catch it.
This guy's one of the reasons why that's my favorite play.
That is one of the best answers talking about the back shoulder I've ever heard.
It is awesome.
Keem, you're the best.
And I appreciate
Thank you,
y'all
dude.
Great to see you, my man.
Congratulations. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
I'm Peter Schrager, host of Good Morning Football on the NFL Network and the Season with Peter Schrager podcast. Whether you're ordering wings for the game or you're whipping up a 7-layer dip or you're ordering a pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food, no matter what you're craving. From 2-for-1 pizzas to buy one, get one wings to whatever it is you want, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week all season long. Uber Eats is the official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now for game day. Terms and conditions apply, and see the app for details.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.